tell me the Epstein case isn't the funniest thing you have ever seen. I'm sorry to be saying that, but tell me it's not the most, as you would say, hilarious case there is. It's incredible. By the way, on July the 19th, most of my appearance at the New York's famed and fabled cutting room, I'm going to be talking about Epstein. I mean, everybody's talking about it. And let's stop pretending it makes any sense. It's nuts. By the way, tickets are available here, so look at the link. Just thought I'd tell you that. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and jailed for sex trafficking minors, right? That's what I guess. I keep saying, I guess. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted for conspiring to traffic those same minors. And yet, according to the Department of Justice, there was no client list, no co-conspirators, no other guilty parties. This isn't just insulting to the intelligence of the American people. It is a grotesque and a deliberate perversion, interesting choice of words, of justice. And it reeks, it stinks of cover-up. Let me see if I get this straight. Epstein was jailed because decades of mounting evidence, including victim testimony, flight logs, wire transfers, surveillance footage, and even civil court settlements, plus all of the movies and the tapes and the videos, all of it collected. It made it impossible for anybody to ignore this. But even then, the charges brought in 2019 were a fraction of what could have been pursued. That's right, a fraction. The case against him wasn't new. It was resurrected from the ashes of a sweetheart deal he made in 2008 thanks to Alex Acosta, who admitted Epstein was connected to intelligence. Hello! And I think you know what we're talking about with the intelligence. In plain English, Epstein was protected. And Ghislaine Maxwell, wow, she was arrested after Epstein's death, ostensibly, mind you, to prove that justice still matters, or something. She was tried for grooming and facilitating the abuse of young girls, and she was found guilty. But here's the problem. Guilty of what exactly? If you believe the DOJ, she trafficked underage girls to no one. She operated in a vacuum. She lured, recruited, groomed, and delivered girls for sex to an empty room. There were no buyers, no abusers, no co-conspirators. If that sounds preposterous and utterly lame, that's because it is. This is the definition of state-sponsored gaslighting, or as we say in West Tampa, caca del toro. The DOJ, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, see, they want you to believe that Epstein offed himself alone in a jail cell. By the way, you've heard me say this. The evidence of a fractured hyoid and thyroid cartilage, that notwithstanding. But anyway, that he killed himself alone in a jail cell under 24-hour surveillance while the guards slept and the cameras failed. And they want you to believe that thousands and thousands of hours of footage, tens of thousands of files, terabytes, indexed hard drives, and years of victim reports don't amount to anything actionable. So that no further indictments are necessary, that the story is over, that all is well as good, and to anyone who dares ask for accountability, they sneer, they deflect, and they hide behind, I guess, national security or something, or they just forget about it. Why? Because the real story isn't about Epstein. It's about whom he served. You see, Epstein was a conduit, not a kingpin. He was a facilitator, not a mastermind. He was the salesman, and the product was blackmail. He provided girls cameras, settings, leverage. He gained power by collecting secrets. So why was no one with the DOJ or FBI or CIA or NSA or anyone following the money trail? Why is there zero public effort to understand who benefited from his operations? Why is there silence about who visited Little St. James, who received payments, who appeared in his ledgers, in the tapes, in the folders, and the records? You know, it's just, because the truth implicates everyone. Presidents, prime ministers, billionaires, bankers, intel operatives. And here's the best part. Exposing that truth would detonate what's left of the public's belief in justice. I guess. Maybe. I guess. See, that's my thing. I'm saying, I guess. And that brings us to Pam Bondi. Oh, my God. Once a GOP rising star, now a political scapegoat. Thrown under the bus, left out to rot to dry. In February, she told the public that Epstein client list was sitting on her desk. Remember the word, sitting on her desk. You could hear it. It's haunting us. This week, she claimed it was all a misunderstanding. A different file, she said. See, it wasn't the list. It was mixed in with JFK and MLK documents. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. Excuse me? This isn't a clerical mix-up. It's a complete betrayal of the public trust, if there's anything left of it. And Pam Bondi was used, flat out. Pamela Joe was used by the DOJ as a mouthpiece to calm the MAGA base, and then sacrifice once the backlash began. Trump and Kash Patel, old Bug-Eyes Patel, hung her out to dry. And Dan Bongino, who gives a rat's ass about Dan Bongino? They gave her the talking points. Then they pulled the rug right from under her. And what about Kash Patel? What about Kash, the supposed hero of the intelligence war? Well, the man who promised truth and exposure. He stood by the DOJ's ludicrous conclusion that there was no Epstein blackmail operation. Remember this? After he had been a podcasting star saying the exact opposite. Okay? No clients. All the while, by the way, doing that Marty Feldman thing or whatever he does. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Anyway, it's no ongoing threat. He expects us to believe that this, despite all evidence to the contrary. His complicity in this isn't just cowardly, it's dangerous. It's unbelievable, off the charts. He has helped launder and fix and tweak and sanitize the narrative, just like Bondi. And President Trump, hey, the same man who reportedly said he would expose the deep state, drain the swamp. He scolded a reporter for daring to even ask about Epstein during a cabinet meeting. How dare you? He called it a distraction, dismissed it as irrelevant, and in so doing, made it crystal clear he has no intention, none, of pursuing justice in this case. It's done. Trumpers protecting someone. Some say it might be himself. I don't know. So let's review this. Epstein's dead. Maxwell's in prison for trafficking to no one. The DOJ says the case is closed. Bondi backtracks. Kash Patel affirms the whitewash. Trump calls it a distraction. And the American people are left staring into the abyss of institutional calamitous failure. Isn't that nice? And this isn't over. Oh, no. It can't be. Because as long as victims are denied answers, and as long as predators walk free, the story will continue. And don't look to the DOJ. I mean, seriously, I've got to tell you this. Don't expect justice from the Department of Justice. The truth will come from pressure, from leaks, from lawsuits, from whistleblowers, from us. The court of public opinion. The fourth estate. Because now the only venue where this case will ever actually be heard. Until then, every single time the DOJ lies, every time Bondi walks it back, every time Trump plays dumb, we remember this was never about one man. It was about a system. And that system just showed us what it really protects. Isn't that something? So that's it, my friends. This is still the best story ever. And everybody I talk to, everybody says, this case stinks to high heaven. And when everybody says this stinks to high heaven and becomes one of these crazy conspiracy theories overnight, we win, my friends. Oh my God, do we win. So what do you think? Weigh in, little doggy. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, importune, and ask that you ask respectfully that you comment as you see